to be thrilled about it. Above them, Sven and his party don't find anything unusual, but he still believes that Cry sent them here for some special purpose. Suddenly, he gets a call and asks his teammate to blow the emergency whistle to alert the other treasure hunters. Once they get outside, Sven tells them Cry's message about watching out for a slime monster, and the treasure hunters are pissed because they are supposed to be taking orders from a man who doesn't even have the balls to be present on site. Sven tells them to trust Cry's judgment, and then recites a story about how he once invited everyone to a flower-watching party and told them to bring their weapons. Just as Cry made the toast, a treasure vault manifested behind him, and everyone realized that he predicted this. The hunters are taken aback by this, and Sven once again tells them that the information Cry gives is more valuable than anything else they can find. Back in Cry's office, Liz is pestering him to give her some work too because she wants to show off her fighting skills in front of him. Cry is already irritated by her behavior and wonders how long does he have to tolerate her before the hunters can solve the issue in the White Wolf's den, and he can just show his face there at the end. Just then, the alchemist Citri arrives there, telling Cry that she is here to help him deal with an incredibly strong and clever organization that can become a threat to the entire world soon. Cry immediately kicks Liz and Tino out of the office as he hears the details about Akashic Tower from Citri. And on the other side of the city, Gark also dons his battle armor to enter the treasure vault and prove that his glory days are still not over. His assistant tries to stop him because he is definitely going to pull some muscles and break his back. Suddenly, Citri comes to see him and share some important information about their true enemies. Back in Cry's office, he thinks about how Citri was the only other one of their friend circle who was not overwhelmingly strong. She always knew that she won't be able to fight on the front lines and wanted to do something else to support her friends. That time, Cry was the one who gave her the idea of being an alchemist, and that was how she became the greatest alchemist. Citri tells Cry that the slime she created has the ability to rapidly adapt to its surroundings and evolve, but it is an unstable failed prototype. However, she has made sure that it will never target her or Cry, and he freaks out, thinking that the rest of the city is still in danger. He has told Citri that he doesn't know how and when the slime went missing, so she simply believes that it must have come out of the capsule and escaped through the drainage. Cry is a bit relieved that she trusts him blindly, and then Citri says that there is something else she needs to talk about, which can be even more dangerous than the runaway slime. Back in the White Wolf's den, Sven learns from the reinforcements that Cry is not going to join them anytime soon, and he did not allow Liz to come either. Sven is low-key relieved that he didn't send the wild Liz here, and then decides to give all the treasure hunters a pep talk. He asks them if they are prepared to fight a slime, and all the hunters reply that even kids can defeat slimes, and they don't need to worry about them at all. Well, Sven knew this would happen, and he curses Cry for not giving them more helpful information. Just then, one very ugly hunter decides to go into the vault because he thinks coming up with strategies is for weaklings. Everyone mocks him, and Sven says that he can happily become the first victim of the monsters, and they will learn something from his death. The ugly moron calls them a bunch of sisses as he heads inside, and then someone timidly raises her hand to ask a question. The redhead looks a lot like Sophia, the defense head of Akashic Tower, but she claims to be an alchemist belonging to Cry's clan. She says that she worked together with Citri on researching slimes, and then takes out a vial of medicine, saying that it can kill any slime, no matter how powerful it is. After that, Sven pumps up the treasure hunters, telling them to aim for glory but return home alive. The investigation begins, and as the day ends, they find nothing but the wolf phantoms that are slightly stronger than normal. Sven wonders if Cry was wrong this time, but thinks that it will be a good thing if that is true. Just then, the ugly asshole with a negative ick comes there and says that if everyone around here was not afraid of slimes, the mission would have already been over by now. He goes to the forest to water a tree and curses Cry for giving orders but not having the balls to come to the site of action. Suddenly, he hears a strange sound and goes to check it out. He is shocked to find two men and a huge chained wolf beast. The men belong to the Akashic Tower, and they are here to put Hulk's nut inside the wolf so that it can become super strong and take down as many hunters as it can, just according to Sophia's plan. Ugo there realizes something is wrong when he sees the giant injection and rushes ahead to beat the two guys. He knocks out one guy, but the other shoots fireballs at him. He blocks them too, before bitch slapping him, and then picks up the tall guy to thrash him first and ask questions later. The tall guy asks if he was sent by Cry, but Ugo says that this is all him. While he is pummeling this guy, his partner injects the power-boosting serum into the wolf, who suddenly starts melting on the outside, but becomes even more dangerous because of it. The two guys declare that this monster will seek the greatest amount of mana nearby and absorb it to become even stronger. The monster instantly sucks the mana out of the two wizards, and Ugo blows the warning whistle to alert everyone. Sven tells everyone to get ready to fight as soon as he hears the whistle, and they gather outside the forest, armed and ready. Soon, Ugo comes running, severely injured and missing an arm, as he says that Cry was right the entire time, and a powerful slime monster is present in the forest. Just then, the wolf phantom who has turned into a slime because of the melting serum comes there, and Sven shoots an arrow at it, aiming to destroy its legs before anything else. The magicians blast fire and ice attacks at the wolf slime, but nothing phases it. Meanwhile, Sven and the healer go to check up on Ugo, who tells them that he saw two mysterious bastards injecting the wolf phantom with something and turning it into a slime. The wolf slime comes out of the magic barrage unharmed, and Sven decides to try physical attacks. He aims his bow at the slime and rapid fires half a dozen arrows, but they don't do any damage to the wolf slime. Sven is shocked to see that neither magical nor physical attacks work on the slime, but he still tells the hunters that they will fight for as long as they can. The slime wolf starts attacking them, and Sven tells them to keep their distance and evade the attacks because the monster is quite slow. He then runs to Not Sophia and asks for the anti-slime chemical she had. She tells him that the slime should self-destruct if it touches the medicine, and Sven takes up the mission to make sure that happens. He starts running as he tries to lure the wolf slime, who suddenly leaps at him. Sven quickly plants the vial in the ground and gets to the side. The wolf slime falls on the vial and breaks it, and as it touches the chemical, numerous explosions take place inside its body. Everyone thinks that this will be the end of the fight, but the wolf slime eats up the explosions and still survives. Sven is disheartened because the wolf didn't turn out to be a slime after all, or it would have died. The armored guy next to him says that Cry said it was a slime-like creature and not a slime, and Sven begins cursing him and the grievers. Suddenly, Citri arrives there to help because she literally begged Cry to put her in charge of the White Wolf's den. She tells Sven that the reason they can't harm the wolf slime is because its dense mana is acting as a barrier. She is interested in this unique monster she has never seen before, but one quick look at it, and she figures out exactly how did the wolf phantom melt and turn into a slime. She approaches the dangerous monster, casually dodging its attacks as she realizes that it is hunting people with most mana to restore its body to normal. She pities it, thinking that it is someone's failed experiment, and decides to mercy kill it. She throws a vial at the slime wolf and asks Sven to shoot it. This upgraded version of Hawkeye accurately shoots down the vial and the wolf slime's head with that. She tells him that it was anti-mana metal that nullifies the monster's defenses. Just then, Gark also arrives there in his full battle gear, and Sven gets taken aback on seeing him like this. Citri explains that she asked Gark for a lift earlier, because unlike her sister Liz, she couldn't just run all the way here. That doesn't clear Sven's questions, so Citri tells him that she has an idea about what just happened and who is behind it. She leads everyone to a camp, where she explains the existence of Akashic Tower and its leader Master Magus. The big-shot office worker-looking guys say that Magus was banned from the Imperial capital long ago, and she asks them if they really think bans are useful. She tells them that this vault is the base of the Akashic Tower, and Not Sophia suggests that they might have a lot of important equipment here. Citri really knows this girl, and she affirms, saying that it is true, and to stop anyone from finding their research, Akashic Tower is preparing for battle. She is determined to stop them and their illegal and dangerous experiments, and for that, she asks everyone to follow her. She says that she is not Cry, but she will still try her best. Later, as everyone gets ready for the fight, Sven's assistant says that Citri seems quite courageous. He asks him not to underestimate that girl, because she uses the fact that she is weak to utilize any means possible to win, and in that sense, she is as much of a monster as the other grievers. On the other hand, Liz is grinding on Cry's lap while asking him to let her go and help Citri because she is the weakest, but he firmly refuses to entertain her tantrums. Deep inside the White Wolf's den, in the hideout of the Akashic Tower, the big shots are reading an instruction manual left behind by Sophia. She has written that they should release the captured phantoms one by one, but the men don't agree with that because it would make it easier for the hunters to defeat them. Even though their master has given full authority to Sophia, the men think that a woman cannot know nothing about war, and thus they must take charge of the situation. They decide to ignore her instructions and launch all the phantoms at the same time.